as Oklahoma currently sits at number 2 in the Big 12, number 10 overall. So Brent Venables again and company have recovered rather well with 13 signed letters of intent, according to 247 Sports right now. So, Jason, I guess the question is for the remainder of today through the rest of the week, because this signing period lasts for 3 days and then possibly on into February. Who are those names? What are those positions? What do you think possibly could be coming down the pike?
Yeah, so let's start with some of the kids that, as you mentioned at the top here, Mark, that Oklahoma has gotten over the last couple of days, over the last week. That's really been beneficial. Koby McKenzie is a guy that had been committed to Oklahoma for a couple of years. Flipped to Texas after everything kind of went down with Riley. This was for the most part, this was Venables' number one priority, trying to get him recommitted to Oklahoma, especially a kid that's been committed for so long. So got him recommitted a couple of days ago. So that was really big on the defensive side of the ball. And then, as you mentioned, two offensive players that were one that was previously committed to Florida, quarterback Nick Evers, 4-star dual threat guy out of Flower Mound, Texas, coming to Oklahoma. Obviously, Oklahoma did not have a quarterback targeted, or obviously didn't have a quarterback committed to this 2022 class. So getting him getting him over to Oklahoma was huge from a depth perspective, specifically with Spencer Rattler leaving and not necessarily knowing what's in the future for Caleb Williams in terms of next year. So that was good. Jaden Gibson was a 4-star wide receiver, tall kid, 6'5", from Florida, that Oklahoma was able to get in late in the period, and obviously he visited last weekend, had a great visit. So Oklahoma was able to get his services. So those three right there, Mark, were big. I think a kid that's been committed to Oklahoma for a while, Gavin Salchuk, really is the top rated recruit that Oklahoma has right now. Running back, Oklahoma has had some anxiety over the last couple of national signing days with running back, just a couple of that have slipped through the cracks. So he's remained committed to Oklahoma throughout this process, and then certainly confirm that today with his signing. A couple of the guys that haven't signed yet, Caden Helms is a tight end out of Nebraska. He's actually signing tomorrow, so no real concern with that, Mark, just in terms of it's just kind of on how he wants to do his announcement. And then the other one that's a little bit in limbo, I think that's got a few people nervous, is local product Gentry Williams. He mentioned a couple of days ago that he's not going to sign early. He felt like he needed a little bit more time to get to know the staff, get to know Coach Venables, and just understand exactly what the momentum of the program is before signing. So I think they're still at 15. There's one kid, Jaron Kanik, who had been a commitment, 6'2", 6'3", 220. He's described as an athlete, 4-star guy who's out of Hays, Kansas. He has been he has been committed to Clemson for quite some time. There's a lot of crystal ball projections today that he has indeed flipped from Kansas from Clemson to Oklahoma. So he's probably a linebacker in Venables' scheme. So that would be another huge guy. There's some rumor Javonte Barnes is a running back out of Las Vegas. That's a guy that DeMarco Murray has been big on for a while. There's some thoughts that he probably won't announce until the All-Star game, but there's hearing some rumors that he may have already signed, but just obviously wants to be able to have that announcement, I believe, at the Under Armour All-Star game. So with all those, if those things continue to happen the way that they do, and who knows, getting into this late a little bit, Mark, it could be a situation where or Oklahoma gets a couple of kids in the late signing period that maybe they weren't expecting, that they're able to either flip or kind of talk into to coming, that were on the fence. So yeah, with all of those things said, it is just really a great job by Venables, and still his incomplete staff at this point, at least publicly, on recruiting, really just kind of behind the eight ball a little bit, but just doing a really good job in getting Oklahoma where they needed to be, which at some point looked like a bit of a disaster with this 2022 class.